Welcome back to the channel, guys. In the last video, you saw that we diagnosed there was a problem with the engine in the Chaser. Now, Drift Matsuri is 2 weeks away, but I leave for the USA for SEMA Monday. So we only have 1 week to completely rebuild the engine and get it fresh and running for a dyno tune this weekend, put everything back together, rebuild the back end of the car, and so much more before I jump on a plane. Gee, Sam, that's not a lot of time to get all of that done. And you're correct, but don't worry, if something goes wrong, I do have a backup plan.
Stop it. Get some help.
As you can see, we've got our fresh head ready to go on our table with a whole bunch of brand new Tomei parts. We'll go through those in a little bit. This thing is fresh. I am really excited to get started on this. Essentially, we're just doing a head job all day today.
I am a stick. If not.
All jokes aside, let's get into stripping that motor. Oh, not good. That is not good. Shit. Dyke, you want to see something cool? Hmm? Look at this. Wow. I think it's gonna snap it.
The next day.
This one nearly did the same fucking thing to the other car. The other head I took off. I didn't talk much for obvious reasons. I'll throw some clips in, but I had one of these freaking Toyota bolts literally strip itself on me. Never had that happen before, and it did. Don't understand, don't get it. But it happened, and here we are. Luckily, the bolt was soft enough that my cobalt drill bit could drill through it, but only after about 20 attempts with a welder and a nut and other things. But hey, you know what? At least for next time, I know not to even just worry about trying to weld onto it. Literally just gonna drill it and then smack it with a chisel. So that's what got the head off this one. Luckily, we can slide the head up. And let's just pray that it doesn't happen to any of the other ones. I can finally take the head off this. It's been a battle.
Oh.
Thank God. This one freaking stud, man, caused me so much problems. Oh, yeah. It looks like the head gasket was not that happy. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Head gasket was not happy. Okay, well, glad we're doing this. You guys like my one stud? What's the bet? Wait, no, it just comes out by hand now. I love that. I didn't have to weld anything. So angry. I'm so hangry. I'm so like angry and hungry and everything. And like, don't get me wrong, JZ's a great motors, guys. But the number one thing that pisses me off, there is so much room in the head that if they just did a little bit more machining around where the bolts and the studs go, It would be amazing if they just had a bit more room there, like on RBs. You know how great it is to have notches and everything, and you can just take the bolts out without having to take the cams out? And then if, God forbid, something goes wrong where you have to freaking weld a nut onto the top of the head stud to get it out or drill it out, you have nearly no space. Anyways, we got the head off, that's the main thing. The stud's off and we seem to be out of trouble now. So let's have a look here. This is the gasket. Well, the rest of the gasket. And you can see on the bottom side, it looked like it had pierced through. The top side doesn't look so bad. Dude, the head actually looks really nice. No signs of detonation in any of the usual places here, which is awesome. Good. The head's good. That's all I care about. Somehow we saved the head after today. So angry. Okay, more bad news. Looks like there's some detonation damage here in piston number 6, number 5, number 1. So much that I don't feel comfortable using this. That's sketchy. You can see here that this is where the head gasket was seeping through on number 6 here, getting through there. It's into the water. Over here, number 1 even a little bit. Otherwise, every other cylinder looked good. Just 1 and 6. Interesting. Bores look great. It's good. Just the tops of the pistons are a little hurt. Bores are perfect. Okay, so we can use the block. I just need to find, ideally, 1, 2, 3 new pistons. I don't want to get ahead of myself because pretty much every time we've tried to open up this engine, at some point we've found more bad news. But the complete oil pan upper and lower is removed. It looks really nice in here. I'm hoping the bearings are all good too, and we don't have any issues. Worst case scenario, plan C is the block over there. That's kind of a mystery unknown block. I would rather build this and run this in the car than use that, but that's worst case scenario. Hopefully. Oh, that scared me. They're 12 point and they're smaller like 12s. I was like, why is that loose? Yeah, just. All right, please be okay. Haven't had much luck looking at bearings. Oh, they look they look amazing. They look amazing. Okay, I'm excited about that. Oh, bearing looks great too. So, piston's like all kind of messed up on the top, to be honest. Maybe I could clean it up with some sandpaper and reuse it, but is it worth it when I can get brand new ones from the factory? I don't know. Oh. Bearing looks perfect. All right, 3. Bearings look so good. This bearing looks great too, in the wind. Perfect bearing once again. Perfect. Everything looks good here. Since the last time we picked up the camera, we found all the issues and stuff with the pistons and whatnot and got them all pulled out. I have spoken to Toyota. Hopefully they have stock of the pistons that we need because there's different numbers on the pistons that correlate between weights and sizes and all this type of stuff. Hopefully they have what we need in stock and we can get it tomorrow. If not, the good news is all the pistons that I need are 2Bs and there's a ton of them in that other engine. I'm just gonna take them out of that. And that way we can put this thing together. I just spoke to the guys at Tomei. They've got their race bearings in stock. I'm gonna replace the bearings with theirs. We got the numbers off the crank, the rods and everything, and gave that to them. So tomorrow morning I can pick those up, plus new piston rings and all that other stuff are coming from Toyota tomorrow. So we should be able to reassemble this at the very least with pistons that we have in it, and from that engine to make a good complete engine. Now, if everything goes according to plan, I'll have 6 brand new pistons to put in this, which will be awesome, and it'll be just like a brand new OEM engine, which is what I'm hoping for. But it depends on what Toyota gets back to me, because apparently they're planning to discontinue the pistons, so whatever's in stock is kind of all they have left, which sucks. Anyways, that aside, oh, we also found out that Trust does actually make a set for 1JZ pistons, but they're quite heavy and they only go oversized. They don't go for the stock 86mm size, so that kind of sucks. Anyways, that aside, this is the closest thing to a dingleberry Honer that I could find here in Japan. We're gonna put this in here. We're gonna just do a quick little whoop whoop. We're good to go. We're good to go. How does this even work? I've never even done this before. I've heard you're supposed to just spray a bunch of WD-40 on this. I don't know, who knows? And just send it. You know what? I'm gonna do number 1 first. That seems more appropriate. Watch me just destroy my block and then we'll just use that other block anyway. Hey, at least I won't have to take the pistons out of it. That'd be kind of nice. Here we go. We just want to do this a little bit, not much. That's it. Like, we don't want to do a lot. We just want to do a little. We don't want to do a lot. Just a little. Just to, you know, get the edges all nice after being glazed. That's it. We're just taking off the glazing. Super simple and easy. Nothing overcomplicated. That's it. I'm gonna leave it there. That looks perfect to me. We'll move to number 2. Actually, I should probably clean some parts clean, but that actually looks really nice. You guys have seen me do this a lot with other engines on the channel. Use a sharpening stone or oil stone, they're called. And you pretty much use this to, I wouldn't call it decking your block. It's more so to, like, you know, remove all that old head gasket material, and you just keep going at it with the oil and everything. Obviously, I've got a bunch of paper towels crammed down in my bores, try and stop a bunch of it from going through, but we're gonna be cleaning out everything in this block with compressed air and parts cleaner as much as we can anyway. So what we're gonna do is just keep going at it. This is 1000 grit, and you just kind of stand here and go backwards and forwards like 1000 times, and then you'll have a nice clean surface to mount your head gasket to without it being out of shape. And this is a trick that Okachan's taught me. A bunch of other shops do this in Japan. I'm not gonna question it. It works for them, works for me. And that's all it is. The only thing you gotta do is stop from time to time, add more oil to your stone, and keep going. It's essentially the same stones that you use when you are sharpening your nose. All right, so for the most part, this block is pretty much ready for the pistons, rods, and everything that we need to do tomorrow. I wouldn't call it decking the block, but it's somewhat decked with the polishing stone and everything like that. Our bores look really, really good. Just, you know, obviously cleaned off some of the glazing and just kind of fixed the cross hatching there a little bit, nothing too crazy. Everything's pretty straightforward. Now, I want to put a big disclaimer here. This is not how you properly build an engine. This is me slapping together an engine that'll last another 4 or 5 years for Driftman Series and the Chaser. That's it. If you want to build a proper engine, this whole block needs to be completely stripped bare, taken to the machine shop, bored out, and all this other type of stuff. There is definitely going to be some probably tolerances that aren't 100% perfect. Do I care? No. Kind of. But also just don't. This is literally going in the drift missile. It's gonna be okay. If it's down a little bit of comp or something like that, it'll be fine. But as long as it's all even across the board. We're gonna be putting fresh springs in here with whatever pistons we can get, hopefully brand new ones. And this thing's just gonna get slapped back together with new bearings, and it'll probably go for another 4 or 5 years, no problem, touch wood. But yeah, that's that. I just wanted to make sure you guys know that I know that this is not the proper way to do that. Does that make sense? Cool, awesome. But you're still gonna comment your crap anyway. So anyway, that's that. 1JZ will be ready for pistons and rods tomorrow. We'll slap it together, put the gasket on, put the fresh head on. I was planning to pretty much work on the head non-stop all day today. And then all I was gonna have to do is slap the bottom end together, but yeah, haven't even started on this yet, so that's that. We'll get onto it. It's been a while since we picked up the camera, so it's time for an update. As you can see, I have my spare bottom end fully disassembled there. The pistons and the rods were perfect in this one. Those are currently soaking outside in my parts cleaner box. These are the pistons that came out of my engine, and you can really get a good look at the damage and how hot they got. I don't know if that's detonation, more so just probably it got way too hot from all the overheating and the issues, which is obviously because the blown head gasket as well as the thermo issue. But yeah, we should be able to switch the pistons out. If we're really lucky too, the rods will be the same numbered ones from the other engine, and I'll be able to just switch them over. Otherwise though, block, as you know, is all ready and good to go. We are currently smashing out this head. Daiki killed it this morning and got all of the valve lapping done. So now what I need to do is put brand new valve stem seals in the engine. So, sorry, in the head. And then we're gonna start putting the valves in and our brand new Tomei valve springs. I've explained this before with a lot of my other RB engines, the one that's in that car, the one that we just did in the Bogan 32, but it is so cheap to just grab a set of Tomei valve springs for your RB, JZ, SR. These for an entire 1JZ or 2JZ engine are only $230 USD, and with the shipping rates that we have on our website, it's only like 20 something dollars, like $22 to $25 to have it shipped with DHL Express, which is 48 hours to somewhere in Florida or in the USA. So you can literally have a set of brand new, stronger than OEM, especially stronger than the really lazy 30-year-old ones that are currently in your engine that you shouldn't be using because those components are consumables and they wear out over time. But yeah, for under like 260, 270 bucks, brand new set of springs, you should jump on that, SAMMIT.net. It feels weird now that I'm selling car parts, but it just made sense. We are obviously partnered with so many amazing brands here in Japan. I want to be able to provide those to you guys overseas, just as much as I want to be able to provide the brands that I work with from overseas in Japan to Japanese drivers and stuff. So we're going to start going down that route business-wise, which I think you guys are going to be very excited about, which will also lead to more opportunities and more cool stuff. But yeah, anyways, seriously, valve springs, so cheap, so worth it. You can't beat that. Like 270 bucks delivered. Jump on it. Let's get these springs in. Let's get these valves in. Let's get this head together.
He said, son, when you grow up, would you be the savior of the broken, the beaten, and the damned? He said, will you defeat them, your demons?
My favorite time, valve stem seal time. Got this little tool off Amazon, slide that on there. Lube her up, using the good stuff, the HKS oil. Line it up with the guide. Wait for that second tap. You hear it? You heard it like vibrate through the head? Then you know it's installed. Don't go crazy or you'll need a new seal. And don't get your seals mixed up. Usually on JZs and RBs, the exhaust side is smaller. So just pay attention to the part numbers and don't mix them up. But otherwise, I'm gonna go through and do all 24 of these. Wait, is it 24? Yes, it is. I'm gonna do all 24, or is it 32? Hang on, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 24 of these. I'm gonna do all 24 of these. Did I say I'm doing all 24 of these? I wanna show you guys really quickly the difference between the stock 1JZ springs and the Tomei ones. If you look at them side by side, it might be hard, but you can see that there's actually less coils and how much thicker the spring is on this side. It's a big difference. These are a lot stronger. They're a direct replacement for OEM, and they're just a way better spring. Like I said, these OEM ones have been in these engines for 30 plus years now. They are tired, they are worn. This is a consumable part. The best thing you can do, even if you're not going for a high revving engine, is just put in a fresh set of valve springs. It's just something you need to do. It's like changing your oil. I mean, don't do it every time you rebuild your head, but you know, like if they're old and you don't know the history of these things and they've been in there since the engine was initially built by Toyota or Nissan back in the day, these are 30 plus years old. So good idea to switch them out for some fresh boys. Little pro tip is when putting them in, usually the paint marker on the spring, the blue paint here, indicates the bottom of the spring. And from there, you just kind of drop them all in. Blue on the bottom. That country.
Really?
Time for another quick update. Head is all assembled and ready to bolt onto the block. Once that's bolted on, then you put your cams and everything in. As for the bottom end side of things, I've gone and taken all the pistons off the rods that came out of this block and put the pistons on from that block that needed to be replaced, that matched up. I couldn't use all the pistons because there's different numbers and stuff like that correlate on the pistons. So the ones that I couldn't change, that actually weren't really that badly damaged, just had like a few kind of like tiny scratches or like scuff marks, I hit with 1000 grit sandpaper and just smoothed them out and took off any kind of the sharp edges. So those should be fine. Everything looks good. This is my, I guess, rod and piston combo that is going in. And then those are just lit. But one thing I really wanted to show you was like 1 and 6, which were the load compression ones, were really badly damaged around the, not only like the top of the piston, but one of these ones, it was very obvious why it was low comp. Hang on, which one's this? This is 6. So this one had low comp 2 by 20 PSI, and you don't really see it. It's starting to hit the ring here, but you guys gotta look at number 1 was the worst. It's actually like locked the ring in and got it stuck, number 1 ring. So then it's going to the second line of defense, the second ring. And then this ring sometimes gets caught on it too because of all the damage there. So I'm really glad we decided to rebuild this motor. You know, obviously this side's even worse. Look at that. Look at the deep gash in there that's locked in the top ring and started damaging the bottom ring. That's exactly why this thing was lower comp here. That gash there is so deep, it's wild. Actually, it may actually be a cracked ringland right there. Actually, yeah. That looks like a crack. And you can, like, wow, dang. There you go. So yeah, really, really glad we decided to rebuild this, and we had all the parts kind of to work with. But yeah, there you go. The more you know, the more I'm so glad I went through all of this. But I need to have this motor assembled tonight, and it's 11:42 p.m. A little bit longer to go. Obviously, Daikie's gone home. I sent him home a while ago, but we got a lot of work to do before we can put these in the block, because now we start working on brand new rings. If I wanted to do it cheap and dirty, I'd probably just slap these all in and send it, but I want to put fresh rings in, and I got a whole box set from Toyota. Now I'm hoping that I don't have to sit here grinding these forever, and that most of them are just going to be within spec with the OEM spec. There's a good chance they will be, but you should still triple check, and that's what we're going to do. So we'll do that. I got to get the old rings off first, and we should be good to go. I am excited. And then from there, once the rotating assembly is all together, we'll be able to slap the head on with some brand new ARP head studs, and we should be good. Time for another update. We have the bottom end completely assembled. We have the head bolted on with the new ARP head studs. It's late now. It's 3:43 a.m. But we've got most of pretty much the main stuff done. I think I want to put the cams in and do the timing, and we'll call it there. But we'll see how I feel in the next 30 minutes or so. Let's see if we can get the rest of this done, and then we can hit the ground running tomorrow. But let's get these cams in and let's have a look at them. By the way, Tomei head gasket and ARP head studs, all the Tomei parts that you're gonna see me using today are all available on SAMMIT.net, all the 1JZ stuff that we used, and in the next few weeks, we're gonna have all the RB stuff and all the SR stuff as well. Let's get these cams on here. It's a little heavy. It's like a maze. It literally looks like a hurricane went through here. Oh my gosh, so much cleaning that needs to be done. So when it came time to pick cams for this car, obviously I didn't want to go too crazy big. We're only running this thing at 1 bar boost. We're not going for big power numbers, but I wanted to be able to make use of the extra RPM that we're gonna have. So I wanted to make sure that we at least, at the bare minimum, put pond cams in. Pond cams are a drop-in cam. You don't have to do any modification. You can use OEM springs, although I recommend obviously using the upgraded Tomei ones. You don't have to change your lifters. You don't have to clearance anything in the head. They're just a drop-in cam that you're gonna see pretty much gains from right away, and they're very, very affordable. Daiki is out getting me some brand new front covers because my front cover got worn through by the pulley when my pulley broke a long time ago, and that ain't Sam spec. So I ordered some brand new ones. They will be here soon. Daiki will probably be another hour just because bad weather, bad traffic, people forget how to drive in the rain. But I figured we could put the valve cover on now, then do the oil pan, and we'll be mint, right?
Just these sad things?
No. You really think I'd put those back on my engine? If it was a Cresta, maybe. No. Wife gets all the dirty parts. No, I'm joking, I'm joking. Come on, come on. And my homies at Ichiban Engineering whipped something up for me in a day. I wanted to have something nice. So look, you know, we got the fragile tie tape on here. My Haneda luggage check-in. So these are an OEM style. Oh yeah. OEM style billet valve cover. How sick it is.
All right, I was just thinking like maybe we could paint that, but this is...
No. Beautiful. Sheesh. That's it. There. Oh, what's that? You know how we all have like our favorite brands of stuff? Not sponsored whatsoever, but for some reason the JB Weld version of Grey, Ultimate Grey, or just RTV, whatever you want to call it, is my favorite to work with. I don't know why, but the texture is different and it's just so much more, it's like a little stiffer and it's nicer to spread around. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but if you've tried the JB Weld version of it, do you know what I'm talking about? Because it's freaking magic, man. It's good. And it's not super gray. It's like kind of really light gray when it dries. It almost looks a little white. Not super white, but just like little gray, if that makes sense. Instead of it being ultimate gray, it's kind of light gray. Definitely next time I have to rebuild the engine for this Chaser, we're gonna be putting forged internals in it, pistons and rods, and probably doing a little bit of an overhaul for longevity as well as just making it bulletproof. But for now, this is more than enough. We should get many years out of this as long as nothing else goes terribly wrong. But that's it, just like that, we got a fresh built motor for the Chaser.